I was the king of the castle. I was an only child, so whatever I did and said was wonderful in their eyes. I wasn't crazy about my grandparents.
Was it your mom's parents or your dad's?
Either time.
Why?
I liked my little... See, my father's mother was very tiny. She was Dutch. My other grandmother, my mother's, was very tall and regal and very sort of frightening. I mean, she had 6 or 7 sons and 2 girls, and she ruled them with an iron fist. My father and mother had a wonderful life together. He never came in without kissing her, and he never left the house without kissing her. And he was a wonderful man, marvelous. Everybody liked him. He had a wonderful disposition. He was a very upright, honest, and wonderful man. And my mother was absolutely spoiled. She didn't do anything because he did everything for her. He was a wonderful husband, marvelous. And he was a very fine man, very well liked. Well, my father was actually a tailor and made men's suits. In those years, you didn't buy suits off a rack. You had to have them made. Well, my mother had to help him during the war years when she had to be in the... I think she took the cash and took care of it. I actually saw a Zeppelin the First World War. I saw a Zeppelin who they bombed Westcliff and Southend very badly. She always said that she didn't have any more children because I would make a fuss about it. I always said if I had a brother or sister, I would put it in the garbage can and put the lid on. And I remember the bombs falling and my hiding in the cellar when I went to visit my aunt and uncle for tea on a Sunday, and there was an air raid, and we had to go down in the cellar like we have here. And at that time, my mother looked for a safe haven for me. She had to go to business then because they took all the young people away to work, like company. And I was sent to boarding school at 7 because of the First World War. And I loved boarding school because I had a lot of friends, loved company, loved the boys, very busy with the boys, always had boys to talk to. And many times I used to have my head out of the window talking to the boys. They walked past, they didn't. I don't think they were as restricted as we were. My husband was a very strict father. He was raised by a stepfather who was a very bad stepfather, very harsh. And he was a very strict, and any disputes that we ever had, was always over the boys. But he was determined that they would grow up to be good boys and to respect me and to speak nicely to me and to treat me nicely. And that was his one aim. And if they looked at me sideways, they got... There was no doubt he was proud of the boys, very proud of them. When they did anything special, you know, he was the first one to gloat about it. Yes. No, he was very proud of the boys. I've never known a man so caring and careful of me. I mean, I would never think of remarriage because I know no man would take his place. I mean, can you imagine when it was cold we were going out he would get my coat and warm it at the fire before he would put it on me. Things like that. I mean, he was very, very thoughtful man and very perfect gentleman in every way. And the American men are not like that. I know they're not. I mean, he did everything to try and protect me and to made everything was for me. Everything was always in my name, everything. Nothing was in his name ever. David was always a little, what was the word I wanted to use? He liked to be different. He didn't want to do he always had a little chip on his shoulder. Michael was a very good boy. And I made a big fuss of Michael because he was a middle child. And I had heard in England that the middle child always gets overlooked. So I made a big conscious effort to make a big fuss of Michael. And everybody said that I spoiled Michael because and he had a lot of his father's ways in him. And his father used to be annoyed with him because he knew he was doing something wrong. But it was the things that his father would do. Jeffrey, when he was born, he was such a wonderful kid, and he still is the same boy that thinks for me and does for me and helps me in every which way. But I got everything went, thank God, my way.
Well, you knew
I tried to be a good wife.
I think you were.
And I was a very good, took care of my husband. I have no regrets that I didn't do everything that was possible for him. And I can only hope the girls do the same for their husband and they get the good rewards that I have had. And that the children respect their parents and are good to them. That's the main thing, that your children respect you and show you the love and respect that my children show me.